Welcome to watching me do my first ever puzzle. I'm really excited to try this out. It's actually of Moraine Lake here in Alberta, Canada, specifically in Banff. It's a really nice place to go and check out the mountains and enjoy the outdoors. It's a nice 1,500 piece puzzle, and I'm really excited to do it. Probably should have gone smaller for my first one, but hey, go big or go home, right? You can see here that it's of Moraine Lake in Banff Park in Canada. A really beautiful outdoorsy place to go. Hence the jazz fingers, really excited. So after getting the edge pieces done, this was the very first part where you got a whole section from top to bottom. So this was really satisfying. If you kind of listen closely right before this, you can actually hear the pieces clicking together. So this part I was kind of struggling because I thought that I had finished the top of this tree and everything was looking pretty good, but once I lined up the pieces, you can see that they didn't quite fit together, which I didn't really know what was going on here because I was looking at the box and it seemed okay, but it wasn't really working. So what I figured out was I was trying to shove it in there, that wasn't working. It was this one piece. I thought it went in this little spot right there, but after I rearranged it and did a second glance, it actually fit perfectly into this other spot right next to it, and then from there, things started to fit together quite nice. So I started to get to that part where everything was looking the damn same. So I started to kind of sort pieces together by shape, which I probably should have done a lot sooner, but hey, you'll win some, you'll lose some, and you learn as you go through. So now that I've started to sort, it made it a lot easier. We're now getting down to our last couple pieces. The last one of the mountains up here, so amazing. We're almost near the finish end, and it's almost New Year's. Just a few minutes before. And the last piece was this really wonky warped one that looked like it had gone through some water or something. But a piece is a piece, so here we go. Ta-da! It's the last one! Woohoo! Honestly, after working on this thing for a whole month, it felt so good just to be able to run my hand over it and feel all the pieces. I know that's weird, but that's just how I felt, okay?
Okay, so now that I've done my very first puzzle, there's definitely a few things that I've learned along the way that I think would be really good for anybody else who's doing their very first puzzle, and even for me when I do my next one. So first is to always do the edges. It gives you a really good idea of kind of where the colors transition, where the overall layout is, and kind of where you start to see things like sky or mountain or water. Number two, is to choose to do the transitions first. And what I mean by that is when you're starting to see two different backgrounds or landscapes start to meet each other. For example, in this puzzle, the very first one that I actually tried to do was where the sky meets the mountain. That way I could choose pieces that were actually part purple and part blue, pick those out from the 1,500 pieces that were there, and then put those in first. That made it really, really easy to kind of start filling in the gaps later. And so when you're doing these transitions, it's almost like you're filling in secondary edges. The way that edges kind of help frame everything in and give you context to where everything else is, these transitions do the exact same thing. So after I finished those transition pieces, that's when I started to fill in all the other pieces that were a similar color or pattern. So that's where the actual mountains, all those pieces looked purple and white. It was really tough to distinguish all of them. Or when I was doing the water, it all looked blue. Or when I was doing the trees, they were all just mixtures of speckles and brown. So once I got to those pieces, I started to sort them together. I learned this part a little bit later and started to realize that I probably should have done a little bit sooner, but that's okay. That's where the learning is. So I started to sort together where there were pieces that were, I don't know, 3 holes and an outie thing, or there was 4 holes, or there was, or a vertical piece or a horizontal piece. And that helped to kind of give context. And as I was starting to fill in the actual part of the puzzle, then I could say, okay, this looks like it needs a piece where it has 2 holes on this side, and then I kind of did it through the process of deduction. Last but not least, number 4 is be patient. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be relaxing. I did it a lot of times after work. I did it on the weekends. I did it on the evenings. I did it in the mornings. So it's really meant to be something that's fun for you. It's meant to be something to relax you and calm you and give you also like a sense of satisfaction and like a sense of being able to finish something. So it's really great in that way to do a puzzle because you can kind of see the progress as it goes along, which is really awesome. But yeah, it's meant to be fun, so have some fun with it.